press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
I have a very interesting session lined up next for you. The topic is kids content, money and masti. And in conversation for the same would be V. Umanath, Editor-in-Chief, Media News for You.com. May I please request Umanath sir to kindly be on stage. तालियों से स्वागत कीजिए please. We'll be joined by Uttam Pal Singh, Head Discovery Kids. Sujata Dwivedi, Group Trading Director, Amplify Dentsu Aegis Network. Preeti Vyas, President Amar Chitrakatha Private Limited. And Smita Maru, Senior Vice President Shimaru Animation Digital Kids L&M. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Hello. Could you hear me? Yeah. So, post-lunch, it's always kind of task for the panels to pull them, the attention ratio or the sluggishness, all these things, it falls on us actually. So, since morning, you all might have consumed
I can
enough.
get it started. I need little
Yes,
support
yes,
from the audience.
yes.
So Discovery Kids, Police ki vardi, Sher Kadam. Moving on.
That's great. So the session before, it was saying that 60% of the kids' viewership is also shared by the adults and adolescents. So how many of you watch kids' content along with kids? Oh, that's really matching with the figures. That's really good. So I just want to throw some questions. So which village Chota Bheem belongs to? Dholakpur, yeah. So are you guys happy with the performance of the king of Dholakpur? Because always he keeps depending on Bheem. Huh? So what happens tomorrow if he goes and occupies a job, corporate job like us? The Dholakpur will be in trouble, right? Let's get into the serious act. Okay, sir. See, before setting into the motion, so recently, if you look at the global phenomenon of the media content consumption, Disney Plus launch was one of the major events that has happened in the global phenomenon. And it was a major success also, the launch was, even though it was a delayed launch when Netflix or Amazon were ruling the roost. Disney was very hesitant and they entered with a lot of hesitation, but they managed to pull in. And recent research from the Counterpoint says that the success of Disney's is attributed to the kids content which it pulled out of Netflix. So 1 in every 5 subscriber of Netflix, they switched to Disney for the wanting of kids content. So that's the kind of power the kids content dominates. So this is an excellent display. So keeping that, yesterday also Group M and MMA report said that in India some 2.5 billion rupees of amount will be invested by OTTs towards the content production. So how much of that kids is going to be? I think they will roll out a decent towards the kid also. So we'll get into the motion, first getting into it. See, in the recent, I'll start with Uttam. See, IP, going for Indian IP is a boom in the past couple of years. And broadcasters in Indian arena, in Indian market are bullish about it. They've been betting on it. Thanks to the success of Chota Bheem or other stuff, even
Little Singham and
Little Singham.
Fukre Boys.
Yes. So, going by that, yes, of course, the masti part our title being the money and masti. Yes, the masti part is taken care by the IPs. Definitely the success of all that. How about the ROI aspect of investment as an broadcaster? You have been investing, I mean, huge money on that. So could you tell us about the ROI aspect, how it returns back to you, the IPs?
So just a snapshot, the kids genre has been on a growth trend. It has survived, bounced back the NTO 2.0 where the distribution for other genres are facing a challenges. Kids genre is also immune to IPL. Kids genre is also immune to a lot of big blockbusters which coming in. So it is an evergreen investment. For us, Discovery Kids, the most important shift was that we were able to create content which was very relevant for the kids. It connected with them, with their heart, with their passion, their beliefs. And we had not done it actually in that. So we were able to, ride the wave on the basis of very successful IPs from Bollywood, which is Little Singham, and then very recently Fukre Boys, which was adapted into a kids genre. And on both the IPs, we saw tremendous success. Now for us, one thing is that we got the eyeballs. In a very short span of time, we are competing with the best of kids broadcasters who have been in the space for almost 50 years. So that was a challenge we were able to overcome. Now, you're rightly pointing out that how does the ROI work? Because we are creating our own IPs, this is a partnership model which we have with the co-producers. There is, once we get the eyeballs, then there is obviously a syndication revenue. There is obviously, from an advertiser's point of view, we can create customized content in which the brand, and the character, their values connect very well, which is what we've done with Little Singham also. A very successful example being Little Singham and Jolly Ranchers collaboration, which was a 360-degree approach. And for us, it was a very big, achievement. Hershey's being the brand. So Little Singham and Hershey's collaborated, on the gaming front, in-show integration, even in TVC is made. So that is also adding to the ROI besides the normal FCT revenue. And obviously, traditional broadcasters, pay, subscribers revenue also add to it. But beyond that, which we've recently seen in the kids genre is that a lot of kids genre are getting on ground, creating events, which are also ticketed event, and the kids can enjoy an entire experience around it. This is almost from broadcasters to the consumer direct connect, feel. And I think those are again adding to the extra revenue. It's only because, you are able to, I guess, create IPs which are resonating with the kids. And I think if we continue on the same path, that the growth will be even more tremendous for us.
Okay, next I'll go with Sujatha. Just give us a brief on the kids economy on an advertiser's viewpoint, how brands look at the kids and the size of kids content economy in terms of an advertiser.
So overall, if you were to see, the advertising expenditure, if we calculate, comes to about 68,000 crores, around 69,000 crores, out of which television takes a pie of about 27,000 crores. And within television, kids only contribute to 3 to 4%. So 800 to 900 crores is the entire ad expenditure that happens on kids channels. Though kids are one of the largest, contributors of TV impressions. If you were to see the TV impressions in total for the 2 to 14 years, that contributes to nearly 20% of the entire age group cluster, which means that there's a huge potential. But what happens is India is a single TV household. So around 85 to 87% of their viewing actually is co-viewing with mothers and family. So they land up watching GECs and the kind of channels which their parents want to watch. So the kids genre is not able to demand the kind of rates they can otherwise. And hence the ticket size of the kids channels is much lesser. So though we have 16, 17 channels, they're not able to demand and command the kind of rates a GEC one channel would. But the viewership is very high. They are stable set of channels. Hence you would also see that advertisers are banking on them. A lot of categories are banking on them for efficiencies. But in the coming times, what we are seeing is that, a lot of integrations, like he said, AFPs, integrations, activations are happening. So we are hoping that in the next 10 years, probably, it would double up or it would be even more. Because it is a very stable genre and it contributes to huge efficiencies in a plan.
Okay, so you mean to say that the co-viewing, how brands or the others segment, non-kids focused brands, are they making use of this co-viewing
Of course. So what happens is, every advertiser has a certain efficiency target, and kids, because it is very good in reach, impressions, as well as GRPs, which are the jargons we use for measuring media. So they're so stable and high at such a lower cost. It works out extremely efficient. So advertisers by default, those who want to play in that target with very high efficiency levels, they take kids genre to stabilize. So it's a very good CPRP deflator, as we call it.
Okay, so
So how do we get those costs higher?
I think only by integrations, AFPs, and you guys need to come together and command for higher rates. But I don't think as agencies we will give it so easily. But,
do you think the competition or availability of excess inventory in the market is playing a spoil sport for you to command better rates with the advertisers?
See, I don't think there's an excess of inventory in that sense because, as I said, it's an evergreen thing and you've not seen a dip even during exam time, frankly.
Okay.
Yes, during summer holidays, all the brands do get really active. But the point is, you're looking for a stable environment, a platform and a genre. And I think even the advertisers will wake up. And, thankfully the kids who are also growing up, with more commanding and pestering power will eventually influence, the Jolly Rancher deal, in fact, also came up because one of the key advertiser has a kid, who's in love with Little Singer. So you could see the power, which the character could, give. And I think we delivered very beautifully on that. So yes, that challenge will remain, but we are going beyond that. How to capitalize on building these IPs, It's not just getting eyeballs, but we don't really consider these cartoon characters as cartoon characters, frankly. It's for us, it's like, jeete jagte people hain, and they have great influence over kids. So we treat them like that with great passion. It's almost like, we're creating a brand within that, character. And what we try to do is how does it collaborate with another brand? How can it add more value?
So this statement of Sujata is coinciding with the previous session where the BARC has said that it is non-kids focused segments that is gaining out of more out of kids content actually. So those are brands that you can be targeting going forward.
Yes, we have some clues now.
So what
Sales
happens
team.
is co-viewing by mothers is very huge, right? Most of the categories have mothers as the audience, and mothers and kids watch it together. So that co-viewing leads to very high GRPs for even women, right? Which is why personal care, hair care, those kind of products are quite heavy on kids genre.
Okay. So moving on from the broadcaster and the advertiser, I'll just get into, I do have some two wonderful content creators. One is from Amar Chitrakatha and other one from Shimaru, the giants who are into the content creation. So I'll start with Preeti. So of course Indian IPs are growing, but when you compare with the quality of content of the kinds of Marvel or Frozen, how difficult it is for, as a content creator's viewpoint, it is difficult to retain or acquire an Indian children, to impress an Indian, how difficult it is to impress an Indian kid, children.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I wouldn't say it's not a challenge because the kind of marketing money and the billions of dollars that go into marketing a property like a Marvel property, which is a global property, it is of course hard. But I think two things here. One is that we are Indian, so there's a natural affinity to your own content, right? Just like he shared. So that just comes very naturally. Your own story is your own story. Your own language is your own language. Your own past is your own past. And that is, so in the publishing world, we use this analogy of a window and a mirror. That all content is either a window or a mirror. It's either a mirror to your own reality or a window to somebody else's reality. So we provide that mirror. So only when you know where you're coming from, you know where you want to go. So that, in that sense, and Indian storytelling as a narrative is a very, very strong device. It's a very ancient, old storytelling tradition that we have. So there is a natural affinity, whether it's Dadima stories or whether it's Navachitra Katha that you've been reading, there is a natural affinity. But secondly, as content creators, it is our, we have to evolve, right? I cannot expect that a child, my son is 10 years old, right? He's completely into his Minecraft or his Nintendo Switch. I can't expect him to like the kind of art form or the kind of style that I grew up on. So Amachitra Katha is a 53-year-old brand. And for me, I feel very proud that when the first Tinkle was released, I was 6 years old. And now he's 10 and he's still reading the magazine. And that's only because we've been able to evolve the content. So, for example, one of our most popular characters is Shikari Shambhu, right? And all of us who, our generation will remember Shambhu being bumbling and going around trying to kill animals. So, but Shambhu in 2020, he's not a Shikari. He's Shambhu, the conservationist. So he's going around saving animals and he's helping the wildlife authorities to actually catch poachers. So you have to evolve with the time. You have to make sure your art evolves with the time to be able to compete with the kind of stylized art and the stylized way the content is presented through properties like Marvel or Frozen or any of those.
Good. So, of course, you even failed to mention Supandi, which is also equally familiar.
Yes, of course. Yes.
This is one good aspect about the kids' content is it breaks the, it is geography agnostic actually, because Supandi is a name which is very colloquial Tamil name actually. It was found by a Tamil writer in 1983, way back. So, but I didn't find any difficulty in getting in penetrated into North. Likewise, a Motu Patlu, who a South Indian or a Tamilian who doesn't know the meaning of what is Motu or what is Patlu, is fat or lean. It's like Laurel Hardy kind of approach which has been applied. Even without knowing that the kids love.
But that's also the power of humor.
Yes.
You know, humor as a genre has that power. It cuts across not just within the country, it cuts across global boundaries. So if you show me, especially for that kind of age group, so you show me some slapstick humor from a language I don't understand, you know, it's Norwegian or whether, I'll still laugh at it. Because that humor has that quality, it's a binding force. No, I mean, it's laughter, right? We all want to laugh.
True. So moving on to Smita from Shimaru. See, Shimaru is a giant in terms of Bollywood content. So what is the share of kids content when it comes to Shimaru?
So let me say Bollywood is actually a giant, and they release almost 800 films a year. So compare that to animation, and I think we can count the number of animated films releasing. So I think it's not a fair comparison in terms of share of animated content against Bollywood. We should not do that. But I think in the last 15 years, since at least we've been in this field, I think original content creation, that has really picked up. I mean, when we entered, there was hardly any content, and Indian animation industry was primarily studios doing outsourcing work. And that's when the channels were picking up content from outside to showcase to the kids in India. But in the last 15 years, I think we've done a fairly good job, I would say, with the help of broadcasters and even original content creators taking the risk. Like I would here say Shimaru has been taking that risk, where at one point, I think we were the only ones releasing theatrical animated movies continuously for almost 4-5 years. So yeah, I mean, at Shimaru, we are very clear that kids content is a category for us, which is very important. And we create content across formats. So it's not just films or serials, digital content, whichever way kids want to hear the story. You have to give it to them. So I think I will not compare Bollywood with kids, but Indian animation industry definitely is moving towards more original content creation.
There was a statement from previous panels that where we are underutilizing our Indian mythology in terms of creating kids content, I mean leveraging that. So do you think there is a scope for the content creators to leverage
I think at Shimaru we've actually taken that route. We've got one of the largest collection of mythological films and other content. I think the panelist, I don't know who it was, but I think they are right. You have to tell your own stories, just like Preeti was saying, and you do identify with your own culture. Parents, see, India is a very fairly young animation watching country. So as compared to the West, so Disney, if the parents have grown up watching, now they want their kids to see the same content or similar content. In India, I think we grew up, I would say my generation, I think our parents didn't even have that opportunity to watch, but thanks to Doordarshan in those years, we got to watch some very good animation. And now as our kids are being fed this healthy diet of Indian content, I think by the time I think 20, 25 years should be when the cycle moves again. So, but mythology definitely. I'm all full votes for mythology, and that's why Balganesh, Ghatotkaч, language again. You tell them those stories in their own mother tongue. It does a couple of things. One, I know it might sound cliched if you're not a parent, but you don't have time to tell your kids stories, so you either hand them some books. ACK, definitely, that's a classic, we all grew on that. Or if the kids don't want to read, then you'll definitely put them across on certain shows which subtly tell you about the Indian values and culture. So my vote is definitely to start off with mythology.
Well, to add?
And we've,
Uttam?
sorry,
Yes,
just to
please.
add to that, we've also seen that because Bollywood is having this resurgence and interest in historicals and mythology. So for example, Tanhaji, which just came out. Now Tanhaji, the comic with Amar Chitrakatha was first published in, I think, 1978. It's one of our oldest comics. And it had its steady rate of sale every year, and it used to clock X number of copies. And thanks to the movie, we've seen like a 10,000% growth in sales. We did a special edition with Ajay Devgan on the cover. And we've just seen, and for us it's great because this is because of the movie and the comic put together, so many more children now know the story, which they wouldn't have known otherwise. So Bollywood also helps in that sense.
Just to add on that, like we all look for a superhero, like, through comic books we've seen it, and then the adaptation, into a film or whether in animation, I think it's by far, it's the best strategy because the character and the brand is well known, well established, like, it's a common. And I think we did a very wonderful move when we were doing a lot of mythology shows right in the beginning. But this is where we took a little different stance because, of course, from an animation point of view, there were a lot of them coming in. But just an example of how Little Singham and Hanumanji could meet, like, on one platform. Because again, he's a kid who's a contemporary kid, he's going to school, but yet through his reverence, through his, like, he's an Indian kid, so definitely there is an opportunity of reflecting that part in the character. And we made a story around it, like, we made Little Singham and Little Krishna come together, we made Little Singham and Little Hanuman come together. And those are one of the best, like, stories which we were able to, from our point also, we were really, like, proud about them. But even the kids audience, responded so well to those stories. So what I'm saying is, like, while we have to, like, we can't escape from it, it's part of our culture. But then we're also moving on, kids these days are also getting exposed to a whole lot of, like, things in the West and through YouTube and everything else. So how do we still be in the contemporary zone in the days of time today and yet, like, reflect the culture which we are moving ahead? So I think that's a very interesting challenge, and this is where, when we were able to, like, look at Fukre boys, who actually, frankly, don't come up with that kind of a superhero quality, but yet there is a lot of Indianness within those characters. Jugaad as a term, we all know, like, कि कैसे जुगाड़ करना है, fit करना है, यार ये चल नहीं रहा, यहाँ करना है, लगा लेंगे. Within night, like, sets are set up and things are done, and we are able to deliver. How do we get those? And the kids are not known to these things. So we got these qualities, collaborated, like, along with the imagination of one of the characters called Chucha, who's very dreaming, and we put together a show, and really, really connected with the kids.
So if I just add to that, actually, I agree with you that you have to, there's space in animation for, mythology, but at the same time, contemporary kids, they need to identify with some character which is their present day person. But in, marketing an animated character is a huge challenge. and it requires a lot of money basically. So when you go after a few famous or already established characters, it makes life a little
Easy to
easier.
relate with
Yeah,
the existing
because
characters.
instead of, I mean, the same character of Singham,
Yes,
if it
completely.
was not named or it wasn't Singham, then it would be quite a challenge
If it
to
was just any
allow
an ordinary police cop,
Exactly.
maybe it won't. But because he's a Singham and we could get those traits, and he had a Rohit Shetty stamp, so we
They-
could design the show like that. You know, the show has to have that Rohit Shetty feel. So we were able to connect with the audience, even the masses and the parents. Like parents love him too. So I think that was.
There is a, you know, you can forget reality because there's already an established
Yes.
character. But if I actually put a
True.
boy in a police uniform,
No.
I think everyone will think, as creators, you've really lost it. Like, you know, kids are not allowed to drink in this country. You can vote
that
early, you
is,
can't drink,
That
but
is
what
an
do you do?
aspect, like say, unlike the foreign countries, we have been discussing little before that there is restriction in Indian law in terms of kids content actually. There is, I mean, displaying, like we have been discussing about the Tintin's original version where in Japan it is made with a lot of liberty in terms of content creation.
True. So we are very cognizant of the fact, you know, and then those policies really matter, frankly. They are for good. The reason why I guess YouTube recently faced that, lawsuit was because of a certain thing. So we are very, as a broadcaster and creator, we don't want to really cross the line. But at the same time, what we are saying is, as I said, for the audience, for us, the audience is not kids, we want to talk at par with them. It's not like we want to look down upon them. And if you go into their world, like we are in this world right now, I mean, you must have seen, like when you walked in over here, you had left all the stress out. You were really in a fun space. And that's how we want to communicate it with them. We don't want to come and across it. We want them to judge us the way they would judge any friend, and we want them to be as close. So that's how we're
Yes.
thinking changes.
Taking forward back to an advertiser's angle, see recently Unilever has announced that they will not advertise their food and beverage category for kids under 12 years of age. So do you see such kind of stand? I think even Nestle has such kind of
Nestle,
restrictions.
Mondelez,
Yes.
even Heinz.
Will
So
this be a kind of spoiler in terms of investment, advertisement investment towards kids content?
Yes, of course. So, we've worked on some of the brands like this. And so the M2K policy clearly says that you cannot directly advertise below 12-year-old kids. Any media reach cannot exceed 35% on the kids' channels. So you have to be very careful in that content. But, we definitely find a way out, and it's mainly because, the international brands are getting more responsible. Because, see, kids are so receptive to the communication that we give. They imitate, mirror, absorb everything that we talk about. So we have to be very responsible. This M2K policy has come in light for that, because, you going and saying that drink this milk and, it's with this additive and it's great for your health. But when you look at the products and the content behind, you realize that there is 30% sugar.
Sure.
So the marketers and the global clients are becoming very aware, and they don't want to enforce such things
Health
on
and
kids.
obesity aspects.
Yes. So people are becoming conscious, so that will be a spoiler. But then there are other categories which are coming up. Look at the education category, which has grown phenomenally in the last 1 year. That's coming on these channels. Then there are household products. There are other things. But food and beverage, because it's direct consumption and impacts the kids directly, a lot of the international brands have taken a stance. And I think even Indian brands should. That's very good for the kids.
Taking it forward from the education clients, it's like we have seen huge deals happening between Byju's and Disney,
Yes.
Eduaura and Z5.
It has been one of the biggest quiz
OTT
contests.
platforms has taken edutainment as a front runner. So do you think broadcasters are lacking behind, or do you think scope for broadcasters also to toe the line in terms of edutainment as an aspect?
So I think it's a challenge of the platform.
Okay.
While in India, we as parents also invest hugely into our kids. Abhi to I bhi nahi hai us age par, but we are still keeping that money aside for their colleges and future. So that's again part of an Indian trait which we have. and part of your salary has to go in every month. Definitely, great opportunity, but the challenge of the platform, which is kids broadcaster primarily, has been that edutainment as a content, has not really worked. I mean, it's not giving the same dividends or returns as an entertainment, and quite rightly so, because uh, kids, I mean, everybody wants to tell them up padhai kar lo, do this, do that, and their parents, nephew, chacha ji, sab, dada ji, sab ye bol rahe hain, even teachers. Now this is one little time when they want to have the television where they don't want to be told,
Okay.
कि अभी पढ़ लो. Now they want to come and say I want my entertainment. And I think they deserve it because frankly, the life is, from their point, it's also very stressful as we feel it, but they go through that ups and downs too. And we don't want to add to that. I think they come to watch broadcasters because they want to also relax and have a great time with the characters. So there was a shift which we had done consciously. We had a lot of edutainment, content, but it wasn't really giving us a returns. Now the next part is, while we have done and created these characters, now we are switching it opposite. The kids connect with Little Singham so well. So now we are going to the schools, it's a direct connect with them as Little Singham squad, in which we ask them to join Little Singham's team, and he's teaching them self-defense classes. So this is how we are probably adding to that layer in which the character is now popular, and how is he adding more value to your life on a daily basis. And we've seen great response from the schools. We've been connected with 500,000 kids in India, going to 1,300 plus schools across India. And I think that's been, again, a very great successful story for us.
You would like to add your views?
Yeah, I think Baiju and
Uri,
Disney
yeah.
and Uri and Z, they've done this integration, which is extremely smart move, because if you see the age group they're targeting to is around 6+ years, because they've actually simplified education. So if you go to their website, it has helped the kids to navigate all kinds of things in an animated manner. They're using Disney characters so that education becomes fun. And I'm a mother of a 14-year-old child. I know to make her do maths is such a pain. But when she goes to Baiju and she sees some Disney characters doing something, it's fun. So it actually has a little bit of time that she spends on those. So I think it's a great move, but how much on media and how much revenue they earn, that's yet to see. But it's a very big thing. And in the tier 2 towns where they don't have access to classic kind of coaching classes, this is a very good way of reaching out to the tier 2, tier 3 towns. I think that's where it's going to really kick off very well.
Good initiative. So I think we are running out of time, and we'll finish it. So I'll just quickly take one views actually. See, when you, as a content creators, see, if you look at governments like state government of Telangana, where they've taken initiative to groom the animation content creators by creating special zones with lakhs and lakhs of square feet of real estate. Do you think the governments also need to support this industry for the future growth?
Not just Telangana, even Karnataka, and now even Kerala is also working on the same policy.
Toons
And I think-
animation, the international
Yes.
norm of
Yes.
Indian norm of Toons.
It's a very
is
positive
happening in
sign,
Trivandrum.
and I think the government has, across all the countries, different countries, the government have been supportive. In fact, the entire Europe, when they have to actually put a fund together to create a show, they don't really run to one broadcaster, because that's a challenge which we face over here. Becomes too risky for a broadcaster to become the only investor. And but over there, there are different parties who come together, different states who come together to co-create it, and I guess they're able to work that. We have to look at that. I think we'll.
Priti, your view on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. If just like the Taj Mahal and the Qutub Minar are national treasures, so are our stories, so is our content. That also needs to be protected. That also needs to be treasured. That also needs to be taken forward and ensure that not only does it survive, but it thrives, for which we need support, because it's going to be impossible for an independent company or one individual broadcaster to be able to match what the Disney can spend, right? So we definitely need that support, and that's the only way we will be able to keep our stories alive.
So with that, let's move on to some Q&As.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for that wonderful session. Any questions from the audience? Very quickly, I'll take one question. Can we hand over a mic to her?
Hi, my question is for Preeti. How do you think Indian stories will remain relevant with so much of exposure to international content and its influence?
So I think the answer is that the fact is that Indian stories have remained alive, right? If you look at the ancient myths if you look at ancient mythology, if I go to a Greece, for example, I visited Greece a few years back, in fact, the temples of Zeus and Poseidon, they're just tourist spots now, right? They're ruins. They're not alive anymore. It's only like maybe an American author who might, write about them. In India, it is a thriving religion. It is a thriving mythology. It is alive. It's been alive for 10,000 years. So I don't think that it's going to go away in a hurry. It is up to us to make it interesting, to make it fun, to take it through whatever channels kids are going to consume that content. And we have an ACK quiz on Alexa. We are on Google Bolo. We are on all the different platforms. I always joke to the team that 20 years from now, if there's a way to directly beam content from my server to somebody's brain, we'll do that as well, right? So we have to make sure we use all the different technology, all the platforms available. But Indian stories they're not going anywhere. Don't worry. We're never going to lose them.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think it is really up to us, frankly. It's the kids will have a global view, but it's up to us, to have them more, grounded also. So that's a challenge and opportunity for us. Plus, even outside, frankly, taking an example of Netflix, if you look at the content which we make, and that's the beauty about Netflix, it's not really defined by the West or any. The beauty is about exploring content which you probably have never seen in the form you would like to. For example, they would not expect, a sci-fi story coming out of India, or they would not really look at that, So the point is, can Mighty Little Beam, which is a great example, set in a small village, be so successful in LATAM? And I think that's an example which we have. So we have this, hidden treasures which we need to explore, frankly.
Thank you.
I think that it's actually the pride in being Indian is only growing. As we become more confident as a culture, as a people, and as we take our place, we are finally leaving the colonial past behind and we are standing on our own feet, right? Very confidently on the global stage. As the confidence grows, the thirst for Indian stories will also grow. I mean,
Right.
we are seeing that in our business.
And we have to cultivate this in our kids.
It's
Thank
our
you.
culture, it's our identity.
Right.
So it's not an effort. It has to happen it's our responsibility to keep passing it to the next generation. So I think that question should never cross anybody's mind, and it doesn't cross actually. Being in the kids space, it does not cross any of our minds that we don't want to tell our own innate, story. We are such a treasure of lovely stories to offer to the world, and ultimately Mahabharata and Ramayana are the longest and oldest stories in the world. So I think there's no fear of that. It's just you have to adapt it to every generation's storytelling, what they like. So you have to just keep doing that in a fun way and without speaking down to them or preaching to them. So
Thank you, ma'am, for your question, and thank you all of you for sharing those wonderful insights.
Kalpana is having.
Oh, you have a question? Yes, ma'am.
Mike.
Discovery has only 2 IPs till now. You thinking of moving on to more IPs, and you have ACK sitting next to you, which is time-bound mythology and Indian stories. So you think that you want to look at those things and teach, for the future generation to understand what Indian stories are all about and what mythology is all about.
No, I completely agree. I think to get to those 2 IPs was also quite a very interesting task for us, and thankfully they have really worked. So now, we definitely want to explore more things. We are going at our pace, but thanks for pointing it out. We're going to have a chat about this.
Thank
My
you.
answer is yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that wonderful session. Before you leave, a little token of appreciation from our end, and I would like to invite Franklin from IWM Buzz to present the same.